It's your boy Jay Boogie back with another video. Sorry for the wait, going through some things, but we're back with another video for today. So today, I'll be talking about the best version of CP3, Chris freaking Paul. The first version, obviously no doubt, the New Orleans Hornets version of Chris Paul. This version, you seen this clip, man, just pretty much a passing maestro. Came to the league right out the gate, just known for his IQ, his passing, his shiftiness on the court, and how he can score the basketball, especially within the mid-range, and how he can finish at the rim. And pretty much this version of Chris Paul, man, defensively, pesky defender. This dude can steal the ball in the nick of the dime, anytime, anywhere. And pretty much he was an all-around point guard, a guy that can give you 19 points, 11 assists, a good 4 rebounds, and then ended the game with like 4 steals. And Chris Paul, pretty much, man, this version of Chris Paul was fun and exciting. Can't forget about the debate between him and Darren Williams, pretty much who was the best point guard in the league. And I remember being in elementary school, I remember just seeing this dude doing the ball fakes, behind the back passes, between the leg passes, nutmegging people, and the whole nine. I remember, especially in this clip, this is probably his best season with the Hornets, with him, Pedro Stojakovic, Tyson Chandler, David West, and I think at the time they had Desmond Mason. And pretty much the Hornets, Chris Paul, definitely a fan favorite to most people that's my age and older. And pretty much this version of Chris Paul, like I said, was pretty much dominant in his own right in terms of being one of the best point guards in the league. Still at that time, Steve Nash was at his peak when Nash with Chris Paul got into the league his rookie year. And Jason Kidd, Chauncey Billups, and pretty much him and Darren Williams head to head, and then they just immediately emerged quickly to become all-star type point guards. And like I said, Chris Paul during the Hornets was very exciting and entertaining. Shiftiness, the quickness, his own ball defense. To give him credit, he has incredible defensive IQ. A lot of people don't talk about that, but his defensive IQ is top notch, especially at that point guard position. But all in all, the Hornets, Chris Paul, like I said, I think he had a few seasons where he had 3 seasons where he was the steals champ, the steals leader, or led the league in steals. And like I said, man, he was just basically a pure pesky defender on the ball, playing the passing lane, stealing the ball from some good ball handlers, just knowing each player's weaknesses with their dribbling skills. And this version of Chris Paul is pretty much, like I said, top notch. If you say this is the best version, I'm not going to disagree with you on that for sure. And then, to me, this is the best version, hands down. No debate on this one. To anyone say this is the best version of Chris Paul, the LA Clippers, Chris Paul, Lob City, with him, Blake Griffin, and freaking DeAndre Jordan. Pretty much seeing this clip right now, the Lob Cities, just back to back with Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and then pretty much his offensive game just got that much more elevated. And then pretty much with Chris Paul, man, he's one of the more impactful point guards we ever seen, because each team he's been on immediately became a playoff team. The winning percentages went up higher, and pretty much, man, pretty much when he left the Hornets, went to the Clippers, and that became an automatic playoff contender team, a championship contender team. And like I said, this is his full prime effect of Chris Paul. Like I said, a few MVP seasons. In terms of finishing top 3, top 5, and in this clip, it's pretty much this is like his best season. And with the Clippers in the 2013-14 season, and Chris Paul, man, just the scoring was more efficient. The 3-point ball became more efficient. The pick and rolls with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan and able to read defenders, knowing when to score. Like, his elusiveness of his IQ is top notch. And like I said, man, he's one of the more impactful and intelligent point guards of the league, and in terms of history as well. And like I said, pretty much Chris Paul is one of the greatest mid-range scorers at the point guard position. And once he get going for the 3-point line, you can't stop him, because stop him from scoring, he's gonna get easily 10 assists in the blink of an eye. So Chris Paul, man, during his Clippers run, they couldn't get up the hump. Unfortunately, they had some seasons where they were immediately could have went to the finals. Because I think the 2014-15 season, they knocked out the defending champs of the San Antonio Spurs of Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Ginobili, and Tony Parker. In the first round, they knocked them out in Game 7. And, it was like, oh, you knocked them out, they're going to the championship. Because people forget, that's the same season where it could have been the Clippers, the Spurs, the Grizzlies, and then the Warriors. So the Clippers had a legitimate chance, could have went to the NBA Finals that particular season, the 2014-15 season, but they can get over the hump. I believe that Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were dealing with injuries, because they lost to the Josh Smith and the Rockets. James Harden wasn't even playing that series, which is crazy. But Clippers, Chris Paul, man, just pure dominant, all around, steals, assist leaders, finishing top 3, top 5 MVPs a few seasons with the Clippers. So prime Chris Paul with the Clippers is the best version, hands freaking down. And then moving on to the Houston Rockets, Chris Paul. This version pretty much, man, he just made the Rockets offensively that much more dangerous, with already a great left-handed scorer of James Harden. And pretty much, him landing to Houston basically just made them a championship contender team. And with him, Chris Paul at the time, Eric Gordon, I think one season had Trevor Ariza, Clint Capella. This team was stacked all around with offense and defense, and Chris Paul had another phenomenal 2 seasons with the Clippers. I mean, not Clippers, with the Rockets. But unfortunately, that can go over the hump. I want to say either the 2018 or the 2019 conference finals, where they could went to the finals, but Chris Paul got hurt in the playoffs, unfortunately, and it just didn't happen again. So Chris Paul run with the Rockets, despite not having all-star appearances, or even having all NBA appearances, he was still effective and dominant of his aspect of the game, the role, his impact in the offensive system with the Mike D'Antoni and and the James Harden effect. So pretty much that was in this club you see how he was getting buckets with the Rockets, and pretty much it was just, you had a chance, you had your shot, you finally got out the second round, you made it to the conference finals, and then you didn't make it to the finals. And then moving on to the OKC version of Chris Paul. 1 season with them, but dude was totally impactful to a young team, a Westbrook list team. Pretty much him and Westbrook got traded for each other during the 2019 offseason. And Chris Paul leading the leading vet. Pretty much Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was playing under Chris Paul. And like I said, this version of Chris Paul was impactful, a bounce back season. I believe he was an all-star in this season. I think he made all NBA second team. And Chris Paul, just like I said, leading the way for OKC. I think it was him, Shai, and Dennis Schroeder. Al Horford could have been on that team. I could be wrong. I think Al Horford came the season after Chris Paul left. But either way it goes, this version of Chris Paul was just a bounce back in terms of his impactfulness on the court. And then, SGA learning from Chris Paul, and you see where it leads its SGA today. being one of the best point guards in the league, and pretty much one of the best players in the NBA. And his version of Chris Paul was just phenomenal, impactful. And then lastly, this version of Chris Paul, the Phoenix Suns, shows you that age didn't matter at this time. Going to the Phoenix Suns elevated their franchise for a stink bit. With him, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, a young Mikal Bridges, that team was stacked with offense and defense. And that 2020-21 season, Chris Paul was phenomenal. It was just off the chain. I mean, dude I think he led the league in assists that year. And like I said, Chris Paul, man, just one of the best point guards of all time. Finally, they get out the second round, conference finals. You won that, and you finally make it to the NBA finals. Unfortunately, you lost to Giannis and to Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. But at that age of his peak of his career, not peak, but at that time of his career, man, he was just shows you that Father Time doesn't even matter. He knew his role. He still was able to score the basketball, facilitate, being impactful, playing good defense, getting steals off the ball, on the ball. And Chris Paul, like I said, man, he's one of the biggest, impactful, and most intelligent point guards we ever seen in the league. And I think the fact that people don't give him credit for his defensive IQ, because Chris Paul can easily get 5 steals and make you look silly, and then next thing you know, he throwing 5 lobs just like that, and then ended up crossing you over and scoring like 10 straight points within the mid-range. And Chris Paul, like I said, man, his skill set is something I would teach to any young kid that want to study a point guard's game. I would definitely mention Chris Paul, no doubt about it. So that's my take on Chris Paul, the best version of Chris Paul. Let me know in the comments who you guys think is the best version of Chris Paul. And like this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you gotta do. I love you guys. Jay Boogie is out.